Unit 7, page 2. This page homework is about the placenta. Take a moment now to fill in the diagram with the boxes on your handout. You may pause the video at this time. Okay, let's check your answers. You should have said that number 1 is the umbilical cord. Notice that that attaches at the baby's belly button and connects within the uterus to the placenta. Number 2, you should have said the maternal blood, or the mother. Number 3, the fetal blood, or the fetus. Number 4, the placenta. Number 5 is the uterus. So now let's describe the role of a placenta. So in a placenta, the roles that it serves are to protect the baby, to provide the baby with nutrients, also to provide it with gases like oxygen, and to be able to get rid of carbon dioxide, which we'll call respiration, excretion to remove waste, and also to provide hormones. There are 2 parts to maternal and fetus. So remember that materials can move from the mother to the fetus, but they could also move from the fetus back to the mother. We're exchanging metabolic and gas products when we do this. Remember that it passes materials through both the mother's and the fetus's bloodstreams. However, the blood of the mother and the fetus do not connect. This is why if a mother has HIV, she doesn't necessarily give that to her baby. However, during the birthing process, the blood could intermix with the baby. Some roles of the placenta are to exchange gases. Remember, oxygen would move into the fetus, carbon dioxide would move back into the mother. Also, exchange of nutrients and electrolytes. Examples of those would include water, glucose, amino acids, and vitamins. Also, remember from our unit on immunity that the mother gives antibodies to the fetus in order to protect it from disease. A big theme when we talk about a fetus that's developing is diffusion. Remember that materials are diffusing. They're passing from a high concentration to a low concentration in order to either go into the fetus or leave the fetus to keep it alive. So a few quick questions. Number 1, what diffuses across the placenta from the mother's blood to the baby? If we look at the picture, we've got anything with these red arrows going into the baby. So things like water, carbohydrates, amino acids, lipids, electrolytes, hormones, vitamins, iron, or trace elements. Also, unfortunately, some harmful substances might go in as well. Things like drugs or poisons, viruses that could make the baby sick. Other substances going in, antibodies and vitamins, and other non-transferable substances. For the most part, you should at least know that oxygen and nutrients, as well as antibodies and any kind of drugs or alcohol could go into the baby here. Number 2, what diffuses across the placenta to the mother's blood? So what's going from the fetus back to the mother? So let's look at these blue arrows. So they're pointing to the lungs. So thinking about what might come out of the lungs, carbon dioxide, also water might be retrieved from the fetus, urea, uric acid, those are going to be removed by the kidneys. Remember that these materials go back out to the mother, to these organs, and then they're released as if the mother was releasing them for her own body. Other substances that might be released, RCB antigens, so red blood cell antigens, hormones, and any other materials that the baby might want to get rid of. Number 3, explain how the lungs and kidneys are involved in diffusion of fetal waste. Remember that the lungs allow you to excrete gases. So the lungs are going to take the waste like carbon dioxide out of the body of the mother. The kidneys, remember, they filter the blood. So they're going to take waste out that will eventually become urine and be excreted from the mother's body. A lot of you have asked how to get twins. So here's a little information. This isn't on your handout. However, if you're interested in this, you can watch this slide and the next slide. There are 3 types of twins. One is called monozygotic. This means one mono. Zygote is a fertilized egg. So it's one fertilized egg. When one sperm and one egg join together and they divide into 2 unique babies. These are what form identical twins. Dizygotic twins are when there are 2 eggs that are released and 2 separate sperm fertilize those eggs. This creates 2 babies, and these are fraternal twins. These do not look alike, and they could even be different genders. And lastly, the most rare of types of twins is called polar body twins. This is when one egg is fertilized by 2 different sperm, and then those cells divide to create twins. These twins become half identical because part of them has sperm that's different, but the other part comes from the same egg. Here are 2 images showing the monozygotic and dizygotic versions of twins. Monozygotic, you see, start with 1 zygote, and there are a few things that could happen to this. This will determine whether they have the same placenta and amniotic sac or different ones. You can see dizygotic over here starts with 2 fertilized eggs. So there's a cell here and a cell here, and they both can create their own set of twins. They can either have a separate placenta, which you can see here and here. Notice that the orange part is the placenta, which has developed around each individual baby, or they could share a common placenta, which you see in these images. This picture actually also has a common amniotic sac. Remember, if there is a common placenta or common amniotic sac, there's a greater likelihood of passing on toxins or anything that could harm the baby from one baby to another. So doctors take precautions to make sure that they watch the baby's growth and development.